Japan has brought back one of America's strongest fighter jets, the YF-23, just when it needs it most. This game-changing aircraft could send shivers down the spines of Japan's rivals, China and Russia, as tensions between these nations continue to rise. In this video, we'll review a detailed analysis of YF-23 features and designs and how they leave China and Russia in a terrific state. The Northrop Grumman YF-23 holds legendary status among aviation fans, thanks to its impressive performance and the fact that only two were ever built. You might be thinking, what's so special about the YF-23 that makes it so rare? We'll discuss its detailed design and specifications later in this video. But before that, let's have a quick view of its history. During the peak of the Cold War in the 1980s, the US and the Soviet Union were racing to develop the best weapons.
The development of an airplane is really a packaging problem. It's the same problem that the supermarket has, and how many pork chops can you put in a package?
Although the US already had advanced fourth-generation fighters like the F-14, F-15, and F-16, they worried about the Soviet Union catching up. This urgency led to the Advanced Tactical Fighter Program, aiming to create the world's first fifth-generation fighter jet. In this regard, two companies entered the race: Lockheed with its YF-22 and Northrop with its YF-23. While Lockheed's YF-22 won and became the F-22 Raptor, Northrop's YF-23 lost, never went into production, and earned its place as a what-could-have-been story in aviation history. To be clear, the goal of the Advanced Tactical Fighter Program was to find a new jet to replace the F-15 Eagle and deal with the rising threat of Soviet jets, like the Sukhoi Su-27 and Mikoyan MiG-29. Many companies initially sent in their designs, but by 1986, the U.S. Air Force chose two teams to compete. Northrop teamed up with McDonnell Douglas to create the YF-23, while Lockheed joined forces with Boeing and General Dynamics to make the 22. Interestingly, about 25 years later, the YF-23 almost made a comeback when Japan demanded help developing a new fighter jet to meet rising threats. Japan's FX program, aimed at creating its stealth fighter, sparked speculation that the YF-23 might be brought back in some form. If it comes back, then what will be its impact on other nations like China and Russia? We'll see this in a while, so just stay with us until the video ends.
The low-speed tests, we're only going to go up to a maximum of 30 knots ground speed. And we will evaluate how the airplane handles on the ground. We will evaluate the nose wheel steering to give the pilot a feel for how the airplane will handle when he has to taxi out for first flight.
In 2018, reports suggested that Northrop Grumman showed interest in helping Japan's FX project. They might not bring the YF-23 back precisely as it was, but they could incorporate parts of its design into the new fighter. However, because the YF-23 is over 30 years old, some aspects, like the radar-absorbent materials and avionics, are now outdated. Still, Japan might prefer starting with a proven airframe like the YF-23 and improving it rather than designing something entirely new. Speaking of its ability, the YF-23 was way ahead of its time when it was designed in the 1990s. Its designers focused on two key things: stealth and supercruise. The YF-23, also known as the Black Widow II, focused heavily on stealth. To make it lighter and more hidden from enemy radar, the Northrop team decided not to use thrust vectoring, which helps with control in flight. This was a feature that Lockheed did include in their prototype. An amazing fact is that stealth technology was still new back then, but the US already had stealth aircraft like the F-117 Nighthawk and B-2 Spirit. However, they still needed to get a stealth fighter. Stealth is critical because it allows jets to fly in enemy airspace without being easily detected by radar or missiles. A stealth fighter would be harder to target, giving it a better chance of survival in dangerous areas. Plus, supercruise was another big demand for the YF-23. This feature allows a jet to fly at supersonic speeds without using afterburners, which saves fuel. Afterburners burn a lot of fuel fast, meaning a plane could run out before completing a mission. With supercruise, a jet can fly fast while conserving fuel, leaving enough to engage in combat if needed. Overall, the design of the YF-23, which I'm going to reveal in a second, was completely different from the YF-22. The YF-23 had a flat, pancake-like body that blended smoothly with its wings.
I'm looking forward to this for 4 years and a first flight for all my life. So for me, it's just the threshold of some very exciting times that we're going to have together as a company.
Its diamond-shaped wings helped reduce drag when flying at high speeds, making it more efficient in the air. Although the YF-23 didn't win the ATF bid, many argue that it was just as capable as the YF-22. Northrop played it safe in demonstrating the YF-23, while Lockheed went all out, which might have contributed to Lockheed's win. Now, with Japan's interest, the YF-23 could get a second shot at proving its worth. Now it's time to look at the marvelous design and features of the YF-23. Two different versions of the YF-23 were made, each using a different type of engine. This was done as part of the testing phase, where engineers wanted to evaluate two new experimental engines. The first prototype, called Prototype Air Vehicle 1, was painted in a charcoal gray color and got the nickname Spider, or Black Widow 2, named after the World War II Northrop P-61 Black Widow. This version had Pratt & Whitney YF-119 engines. The second prototype, called Prototype Air Vehicle 2, was painted in two shades of gray and was nicknamed Gray Ghost. General Electric YF-120 engines powered it. Both aircraft showed impressive speed and stealth capabilities. But the most interesting thing is that the YF-23's design, along with its secretive outer skin material, made it nearly invisible to radar systems of that era. Another key feature was its supercruise ability, as I mentioned earlier, allowing it to fly at supersonic speeds without using the afterburner. Its top speed was Mach 2.2. In terms of weapons, the YF-23 was armed with a 20mm M61 Vulcan cannon. It also had internal bays that could carry 4 AM-7 Sparrow or AM-120 AMRAAM medium-range air-to-air missiles, along with 2 AM-9 short-range missiles. So not only was it fast, but it was also well-armed for combat. When compared to its competitor, the YF-22, the YF-23 was fairly evenly matched. The YF-23 had a top speed of 1,451 miles per hour, while the YF-22 could reach 1,599 miles per hour. However, the YF-23 had a more extended range of 2,796 miles and could fly at higher altitudes, reaching a ceiling of 65,000 feet. In contrast, the YF-22 had a range of 2,000 miles and a maximum altitude of 50,000 feet.
The competing version is being built by a team made up of Lockheed, Boeing, and General Dynamics. It will be unveiled later this week. Now, whoever comes out the winner in this high-stakes dogfight will be awarded a multi-billion-dollar contract.
The YF-22 had an advantage in agility. Agility is crucial for fighter jets, especially during dogfights. The YF-22 Lightning II, which later became the F-22 Raptor, proved to be more adaptable in close combat. And this was enough to convince the U.S. Air Force that it was the better choice between the two planes. But despite those excellent features, unfortunately, both YF flexible prototypes were stored after the competition until 1996, when they were moved to museums. The YF-23 PAV-1 is now kept at the National Museum of the United States Air Force, while the YF-23 PAV-2 was displayed at the Western Museum of Flight. In 2004, Northrop Grumman reclaimed the PAV-2 to use it as a model for YF-23 based bomber. Later, it was returned to the museum in 2010 and remains there on display. It's important to note that the YF-23 wasn't rejected because of its bad design. Instead, it was outperformed by its competitor, the YF-22, which was better in certain areas. Ironically, even the F-22 program, which won the competition, was eventually cut short, raising the question of whether there was a real winner in the end. Moreover, the YF-23 was equipped with an advanced avionics suite, including state-of-the-art sensors and radars. These allowed the pilot to detect and track multiple targets at once. Its digital flight control system provided the pilot with accurate control over the plane and real-time updates about the aircraft's performance. Collectively, the YF-23 was a highly advanced fighter jet designed to handle various missions and environments. Its stealth features, easily navigable aerodynamic design, and groundbreaking technology made it a tough opponent in air-to-air combat and highly effective in ground attack missions. Although it wasn't selected for production, the YF-23's influence can be seen in later fighter jet designs, including the F-35 Lightning II. Now let's talk about its powerhouse. The YF-23 was powered by two Pratt & Whitney YF-119 afterburning turbofan engines, which generated up to 35,000 pounds of thrust each. This gave the YF-23 amazing speed and performance. It could reach a top speed of Mach 2.3 or 1,700 miles per hour at high altitudes, and Mach 1.8 or 1,370 miles per hour at lower altitudes. Not only this, the engines also featured advanced technology that made them highly efficient and reliable. One important feature was the full authority digital engine control, which allowed for greater precision and control. Additionally, the engines were built with materials that could withstand higher temperatures, making them more durable and efficient. Regarding its design, if compared to the YF-22, the YF-23 had a wider wingspan, which gave it better lift and reduced drag. This allowed it to fly faster and at higher altitudes than the YF-22. However, the larger wingspan made the YF-23 less agile at lower speeds, which was a concern for some pilots and engineers. Despite having a higher top speed, the YF-23 was not chosen for production as the YF-22 Raptor. One reason was the concern over its lower agility at slower speeds, which is essential in dogfights. Its higher cost also played a role in the decision. Even so, the YF-23's innovations left a lasting impact on future fighter jet designs. There is tension arising that either Japan restored YF-23 to beat China and their counter-allies, or just these rumors. Let's find out about this shortly. Furthermore, the YF-23 was built to handle both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions, making it a versatile fighter jet. It was designed to carry a variety of advanced weapons that could be adjusted based on the mission. For air-to-air combat, the YF-23 could be equipped with AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles, which were advanced beyond visual range missiles.
They took their airplane and flew it to 60 degrees angle of attack. You see that here in the left and the upper right. High angles, what's called high angle of attack. It's a very exhilarating thing. It's a meaningful thing to fighter pilots.
These could hit targets up to 100 miles away. The YF-23 was also compatible with the AIM-9 Sidewinder short-range air-to-air missile and the AIM-7 Sparrow medium-range missile. In addition to air-to-air weapons, the YF-23 could carry a range of air-to-ground weapons, including guided bombs and missiles. One of these was the GBU-15 guided bomb, which was highly accurate and effective for striking ground targets with precision. Also, other potential weapons for the YF-23 included the AGM-88 HARM anti-radiation missile, which was designed to target enemy radar systems, as well as various unguided bombs and rockets. No doubt, the YF-23 was a capable and adaptable fighter jet that could be equipped with different weapons depending on the mission. However, it was not chosen for production, was never mass-produced, and was mainly used for testing and evaluation purposes. However, the technologies and advancements developed for the YF-23 have continued to influence modern fighter jets, including the F-35 Lightning II. Because many of the YF-23's essential features, like its advanced stealth technology, glossy aerodynamic shape, and highly graceful avionics, were included in the F-35 design. In a way, the F-35 was built based on the lessons learned from the YF-23, making it a direct follow-up to that program. The YF-23 also helped advance the field of aerospace engineering. It pushed the limits of what could be achieved in aircraft design and performance. The innovations from the YF-23 have left a lasting mark on fighter jet design, continuing to influence the development of new technologies in aviation. For a number of things, we know the production of the F-22 stopped in the 2010. This was mostly because of the vast amount of money needed to build a large fleet of these advanced fifth-generation jets. The F-22 was then replaced by the next stealth aircraft, the F-35 line of stealth fighters. Also, the U.S. made it clear that the F-22 would not be sold to other countries, not even to its closest allies. This was to protect its advanced stealth technology from possibly falling into the hands of U.S. rivals. In this matter, Japan is one of the countries that has shown the most interest in getting the F-22. They wanted this aircraft because it would be a powerful tool to protect against threats from China and North Korea. The F-22 would be ideal for this role, given its impressive capabilities. Although the YF-23 never went into mass production, as I said before, it continued to catch people's attention over the years.
More than being fast, it could fly fast for a very long time. Up until the time of this aircraft project, airplanes that went supersonic really could not maintain supersonic speeds for really long periods of time.
There were even talks about reviving the D-sign when Japan needed a new fighter jet to counter China and North Korea. Japan had tried to buy the F-22, but the U.S. Congress rejected the sale, mainly to keep its technology a secret. As a result, Japan decided to move forward with its plans for a stealth fighter. Eventually, they joined the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter program. Still, Japan kept looking for a new fighter platform and launched the FX program to develop a stealth fighter that could be built in Japan. Northrop Grumman, the company behind the YF-23, showed interest in working with Japan on this project. And there were even talks that the YF-23 design might make a comeback, or at least inspire the new fighter's design. In late 23, Japan signed a historic defense agreement with Britain and Italy to co-develop a sixth-generation fighter jet. This was a big deal because Japan had mostly worked with the U.S. on such projects in the past. This new partnership aims to have the new fighter ready by 2035, combining Japan's experience in building aircraft with advanced European technology. Moreover, the new fighter is expected to be a supersonic stealth aircraft with cutting-edge technology like artificial intelligence, unmanned flight capabilities, and hypersonic weapons. Although the YF-23 is an older design, some aspects of it, like its shape and engine layout, could still be helpful for this new fighter. However, other parts, like its radar-absorbing coating and electronics, would need to be updated to meet today's standards. Japan, Britain, and Italy have equal shares in this project, with each country holding a 33% stake. The Global Combat Air Program, as it is called, will be managed by a joint government headquarters based in Britain, while the industry side will also have its own headquarters. Japan's first contribution will be a chief executive from their country to lead the government organization, while Italy will provide the leader for the business side. British Defense Minister Grant Shapps explained that no country can develop such a complex fighter jet alone. He said that combining the skills, equipment, design, and production capabilities of these three countries is vital to building the best fighter possible. Standing alongside Japan's Defense Minister Minoru Kihara and Italy's Defense Minister Guido Crosetto, Shapps emphasized the importance of working together to secure aerial superiority in today's challenging security environment. In this case, Kihara also made it clear that he would ensure the right person leads this important project. He mentioned that while it's a joint effort, each country's contribution is equal and the agreement is balanced. There were earlier concerns that Japan and Britain would dominate the project, but Italy confirmed that the negotiations were fair and everyone had an equal role. The new supersonic stealth fighter will have highly advanced technology, including a radar system that can process 10,000 times more data than current systems, according to the British government. Companies like Britain's BAE Systems, Italy's Leonardo, and European missile maker MBDA, along with Rolls-Royce for engines, are involved in the project. The idea of a sixth-generation fighter took shape quickly in 2023, following the joint statement by the leaders of Italy, Britain, and Japan in December 2022. The visit of Britain's Defense Minister Grant Shapps and Italy's Defense Minister Guido Crosetto to Tokyo helped solidify this partnership, which was formalized with the signing of a treaty on December 14, 2023. Kihara said this collaboration brings together the best technologies from Japan, the UK, and Italy, creating a strong deterrent in today's complex and challenging security environment. The Global Combat Air Program is expected to officially begin in 25, with the goal of having the fighter jet ready for deployment by 25. To oversee the project, an organization called GCAPI International Government Organization was established. This is historic because it marks the first time Japan has partnered with countries other than the US to develop a major military platform. Many such partnerships need to progress beyond the early stages, but this agreement shows that the project is moving full steam ahead toward the formal start date in 2025. In conclusion, the collaboration between Japan, Britain, and Italy in developing this new stealth fighter jet is a major step forward in military technology. Although the YF-23 is a design from the past, some of its innovations still hold relevance today. With Japan's growing need for advanced defense technology in the face of regional threats, this partnership represents a big shift in how these nations work together to create cutting-edge military equipment.
Fighter jet will cruise at 1,000 miles an hour. Northrop and McDonnell Douglas hope to win the Air Force contract for the fighter. Lockheed, Boeing, and General Dynamics have teamed up to design their own model. It gets its first test flight on Wednesday.
The project, combining the best of Japan's and Europe's technological expertise, shows that the future of aerospace engineering is bright. While the YF-23 might not return to active service, its impact on modern stealth fighter designs is still strong. It could play a role in future projects, especially with Japan's FX program and the new partnership with Britain and Italy. These initiatives let the YF-23 showcase its innovative features or inspire future fighter technologies. In the US, the YF-23's influence could continue in developing sixth-generation fighters through the next-generation air dominance and FA-XX programs. Northrop Grumman's involvement in these programs isn't certain, but the ideas from the YF-23 are expected to shape future aircraft designs. In summary, even though the YF-23 was retired, its creative concepts are still relevant. Its legacy is evident as it continues to inspire advancements in aviation, affecting both current and future fighter jets. The choice to favor the YF-22 over the YF-23 remains a debated topic among aviation fans. Ultimately, the YF-23's groundbreaking technologies will keep influencing aerial wars for years to come. How do you like this video? If you are interested in learning about fighter jets, then this channel is definitely for you. So hit the like and subscribe to the channel, as recently there was another video uploaded on the channel that you might love about fighter jets. As shown on your screen. Thanks for watching.